episode 2.
Episode 2, here we are. Cheers to that.
Cheers to episode 2.
Still drinking.
Mm-hmm. Same kind of close.
It's a little better than last episode. It's a little chilly.
A little bit, yeah. We record these 2 at a time. So the last episodes, the champagne had a chance to actually chill more while we were recording the first episode.
Wait, does that kind of ruin the whole thing that they know we...
No.
No?
Record 2 at once.
Okay.
Unless you don't want me to say that.
Well, no, you're the host here. No, go ahead. Go for it.
Look, it's what makes life easier.
It's so true.
Yeah.
It's so true.
I mean, getting the whole setup going and then,
Yeah, I mean, we had a full bottle of champagne to get through, so why not?
Got to do more than one.
episode?
And I had another one I wanted to do right away. Speaking of going off strip, we're talking about Azzurra Cucina Italiana.
Ooh, you got it.
I did figure out how to say it from our trailer to now.
Lovely.
Beautiful restaurant. Again, Jerome,
It's
this
so
was a your recommendation. Actually, no, this was one of your clients.
One of my clients. Yeah, I can't really take credit for it because it really was one of my clients. And she kept pestering me to go. She's like, you have to go. You have to go. You have to check it out. I'm like, all right, bitch, I got it. I'll go. And of course, he's the one I chose to come with me. So,
we also had Becky along with us this time.
did. Your
so
wife,
we get to
your
talk
beautiful
about
wife, Becky.
We get to talk about the Becky factor in a restaurant.
Okay, hold on to your hats, kids.
Yes.
Hold on.
Yes. We'll have that perspective. We also didn't mention this last time as well that I kind of want to highlight a little bit. So I eat mostly vegetarian, sometimes with fish as well. Jerome eats all full carnivore.
Give it all to me.
And so when we add in the Becky factor, who's either going to eat gnocchi, pasta, or a hamburger almost exclusively.
With nothing on it.
With plain. She
Absolutely.
is very specific on what she likes.
Yeah.
And when she can find a restaurant that does those things well, or I mean, she does go outside of that, but that's her go-to, what she looks for. Italian food, it's actually, she goes for the caprese salad every time, loves the gnocchi, and then plain pasta with no protein.
Pasta. Fine.
Yep. And then other restaurants, she's looking for good French fries, good hamburger.
Yes.
So imagine that friend you're going out to eat with where you've got a really interesting 3 people going on in this party. You have someone who's full carnivore, wants to all the experiences, someone who's going to try to shy away from eating as much meat as possible, and someone who wants a hamburger. It makes for an interesting decision on was this restaurant any good or not.
But we always figure it out.
We do.
I think we struck out one time.
But I think that was because of the Becky factor, but we'll get to that.
No, of course.
We were very worried about if she would like the restaurant.
That's all I could think about.
That was it the whole time.
Yeah.
So we know you probably have friends like that you want to be able to go out to eat. So hopefully we'll provide that.
I think so.
Perspective.
I think so, because we always make it work.
You got that picky person. Is this a good restaurant if you've got that person, or should you leave them behind this time?
That's the Becky factor.
That's a little bit of the Becky factor.
Where do we begin?
Azzurra. Well, I mean, walking into this place, this is in downtown Henderson on Water Street, towards the end of Water Street. Like
Water
you're getting
Street has
past,
come a long way.
It has
come a very long way. There's quite a few restaurants.
There are. And this is at almost the very end, kind of as you're driving down Water Street from Lake Mead through downtown Henderson. It'll be on your right. You will miss it if you're not looking for it.
I missed it.
You will absolutely miss it.
Yeah.
The nice thing is it has its own little parking lot. So you don't have to worry about the street parking or one of the communal parking lots they have in downtown Henderson.
I think it was very smart of them to do
Very
that, to be
smart.
away from the hustle and bustle of Water Street.
The hustle and bustle of the literal dozens of people out there every night. I do have to say, I love the downtown Water Street feel, the atmosphere.
It's got like a hometowny kind of.
It reminds me of the small Midwest town of one place I lived in Illinois growing up for a while, where you had the single story little movie theater built into the strip mall. You had the Pizza Hut on the corner you could dine in,
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I guess it does kind of remind me of my hometown because our downtown was literally one street, right? And so, I mean, it's got a cute little feel to it, but...
Did your downtown also have a, correction facility there? That is the one thing about Water Street that's so, out of place, though.
It did. No, it didn't. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, it did not. I like Water Street.
I do. I really like Water Street. I like it.
I feel like it's kind of our go-to and we don't know where else to go.
True.
Right?
True. It has, it has its own Love Lady Brewery is down there now.
Yeah.
You've got Juan's, which is kind of local chain Mexican restaurant.
The famous ones.
Pretty dang good.
Fantastic chips and salsa.
Yeah. There's a bakery, Chef Fleming's Bakery. Their pastries. Ooh.
I think I have had their pastries before.
So good. Every it's become a tradition now on Christmas and Thanksgiving that my parents will head there and just get a box full of different pastries and things, and they'll order cakes from there. Good, so good. He'll custom make stuff for you if you go in and order it. So definitely recommend that.
How come I didn't even know that was there?
It's at the very beginning of Water Street. It's literally, if you're sitting at Juan's, it's strictly across the street from you. So it's on the left side of the street, north side of the street.
Okay. I've only been to Juan's a couple times.
East side of the street, I suppose. Right near a sports uniform store.
Mm-hmm. Welcome to Water Street.
Right. I mean, this is it. These are the things next to each other on Water Street.
It's cute. It's fun.
That's
it's
why
walkable.
I like it.
It's nice.
You can walk.
Yeah,
yes, you can
it's
walk
lovely
it, for sure. But this little gem, when you walk into it, it reminds me of a New York Italian restaurant because it's so narrow.
Really?
You can really only fit 2 tables across, and you got a big bar area. So you have to make reservations to go.
It's the only way to do it.
It actually says so on the door. You can't walk in and get a table.
Yeah.
And the tables are always full because it's a cute little Italian place. You know, it's not,
it's different. It's just different from everything else.
It is different. It's different. It packs a big punch with how small it is. And the atmosphere is very, very cute. Cozy atmosphere, so you don't feel cramped.
No, it's colorful.
It's bright, so it's not dark, which I do appreciate that it's not this dark, dim, mahogany Italian restaurant.
No, I do agree with you there. It's kind of refreshing to see that, to walk into something that's so bright.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we do have pictures that we can go through to kind of show some of the atmosphere of that, along with some of our food as well. But yeah, I liked it as soon as I walked in. And the first time I walked in, I thought, I really hope the food is going to be as good as how I feel walking into the place.
Same.
Which says a lot to feel good walking into a restaurant and not feel let down by the time you sit down at your table, like we had discovered last episode. So, I mean, it had a lot going for it.
It did.
I'm trying to remember. It does still have a lot going for it.
Yeah, it does.
So I'm trying to remember from a drink perspective. What's the drink situation there? I'm trying to recall.
We did not know. I think the first time we were there, I think we just had wine.
I think we just did his Italian restaurant. We just went with the wine.
We just did wine, and then the second time, I believe you had a Negroni.
That is true. They do have your classic. It's not going to be a place with your signature cocktails. It's going to be a place with.
Well, the focus is on the food,
bars, right? Yeah, and so just like Italian restaurant, you're going to go wine and food, or you're going to go a classic Italian cocktail with a Negroni, and they made a good Negroni.
I'm not a fan.
I mean, if you like a Negroni, it was a good Negroni. I get that it's not a most people thing.
Mouthful of dirty water. So gross. I can't.
Oh, my favorite thing is making a Negroni at home and letting people try it.
Oh, it's the worst. But it's so funny to watch people just pucker. Yeah.
I believe it was called, Becky called it what? Toilet cleaner last night? I think that was, she said she could scrub the toilets better than. She did. So yeah, she had an opinion on the Negroni.
She did
last night.
Awful.
It's fine. I like it.
I know you love it. I know.
The funny thing is, I didn't at first. That's a whole different topic.
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
I feel like we could discuss drinks at some length. But so and honestly, much like we talked about last time with Retro, their wine by the glass list is way too big for the size of restaurants.
It's extensive.
Which I appreciate because it means I don't have to order the bottle to get a nice wine.
I do too, but also it's a bit overwhelming.
Even just the wine by the glass?
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot.
If you're someone coming in who just knows you want to have a red wine to drink, it does feel like there's way too many by the glass options.
Way too much.
But if you're someone who's like, actually, I do know enough about wine to know the varieties and what you're feeling like, you're going to be able to not just order a Cabernet.
Sure.
Right. You're going to be able to actually have a good selection, which I really appreciated that.
No, yeah. I mean, I think it's nice. It's nice to have options. I just, at first glance, I was like, shit. I was like, now what do I do? So then I look to you and I'm like, okay, great. Sure, I'll take whatever he's having. Just don't give me a Negroni.
No.
Thank you very much.
No worries. No worries. I'll get you a Pinot Noir. Bring you back to your Pacific Northwest days.
You're right. So good. The Oregon wines are great.
Yeah, absolutely. Which speaking of acquired taste on a wine, that's not a lot of people go to the Pinot Noirs.
They don't. They don't. I love it though because it's so light. If you're just looking for
which
something
is not
easy,
what people think on a red wine. That's the thing.
Right.
People go to a white wine for something lighter.
Yeah, I just had
people
one the
don't
other
know
evening.
that this wine exists.
Yeah, I had one the other evening. It was a couple days ago, and it literally looked like grape juice and water.
Yeah, that's what turns people off from it.
Good though, so light. Anyway,
if it's a good one,
back
for sure.
to the restaurant.
Yeah. So, we've actually, I should say as well, we've been there twice this year already. As we get to the food, I think this is an important distinction, important note about it, was that we went there, and the food the first time that we went was hit and miss at best.
It wasn't terrible.
Because I believe you had ordered a chicken something.
I had the roasted chicken.
I think I've got a picture of that right here. Yes, I do. You had the roasted chicken.
Yeah, so it's roasted chicken. It looks like some sort of like butter sauce over it, and it's got, I don't know, like grilled onion, and it was lovely. It was beautiful. Mashed potatoes. It was great. It was homey. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was very flavorful.
It, honestly.
Yeah, and it's not super heavy too. No. It's like you're not going to leave hungry, honestly. But it's not overwhelming. Like you don't have a half chicken sitting in front of you.
Which I do enjoy though. I do like that when they've got the full fucking half chicken. It's great. It's kind of fun to kind of tear it apart. But this was broken down. It was prepared beautifully. I enjoyed my meal.
Most of their dishes on the flavor profile, they tend to be more on the acidic side.
I do.
This sauce here on the chicken, if I remember correctly, had a lot more of an acidic bite to it, which paired really well with the chicken because it tasted more like what you would expect out of like a bitters type of a salad.
My mouth is watering.
But I mean that's part of what I think I really enjoyed when I found the right dish to go with it, was they're more on that kind of bitter side of the house with their sauces, as opposed to a lot of the Italian restaurants that become more popular, the chainy Italian restaurants, which are super sweet red sauces. You're not going to find a heavy, thick, sweet red sauce here.
No.
Even the red sauce that we ended up not liking was still pretty thin, on the thinner side. It just didn't have a flavor. There was a red sauce, which I will actually believe we have got a picture of that dish right here. Yes. So this, I believe, was the Becky special. This was gnocchi, but then substituted with a vodka sauce.
Oh, that's right. She did some. What did it come with originally?
I don't
really.
Here at the menu.
Well, the menu changes.
It does change. I think the gnocchi stayed the same. Is gnocchi bolognese?
Oh, okay.
What it is now.
Okay.
That's completely different, actually, because that's now cooked ground beef, pork, veal, and a tomato sauce. I think before it was just gnocchi and a tomato sauce, and she wanted the vodka sauce instead. And the vodka sauce, maybe that wasn't a good substitution, which you can't fault if you're substituting and your dish comes out worse.
Yeah.
That's kind of a little bit on you.
Yeah.
But this vodka sauce, I mean, it was a little SpaghettiOs-y.
A little? It was SpaghettiOs.
Yeah.
Literally.
It did not have that same bite that the rest of the sauces have had. So I'd say substitute with care.
But the gnocchi was beautiful.
The gnocchi was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was great.
And she did get gnocchi the next time we went.
She did?
I believe she did. The second time, she got a different gnocchi. Maybe not. I feel like she had the gnocchi again.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. But
what did you have?
What did I have the first? Well, what we had the first time, which is where we weren't quite sure where this food was going. We got this steak.
It wasn't beef carpaccio, was it? I believe it was.
It was the beef carpaccio, which they still have on the menu right now. Thinly sliced raw Wagyu beef, olive oil, shaved Parmesan, capers, arugula, and hearts of palm.
So doesn't that sound amazing?
That description is amazing.
Yeah, I'm here for that.
What it doesn't mention was that it had coarse sea salt.
It was rock salt. Get out of here.
Salt. I mean, I thought at first that was the Parmesan. That's how much of it there was. I took a bite and it all crunched. And
look, I am the #1 salt consumer. I love salt. I put salt on everything. You're lucky I haven't sprinkled salt in the champagne that I've got now. Love salt. But even that, I was like, what the hell is going on here? When I'm crunching my beef carpaccio.
The flavor, if you could get past the salt, like if you could get it one that wasn't super salted, the flavor was outstanding.
Oh, it was beautiful.
But whatever line chef was putting that together that night had just went a little too heavy. Ramsay would have sent it back. That team would have been thrown out of the kitchen. I mean, for trying to kill with salt poisoning. I don't know if is salt poisoning a thing? Over salting? Probably.
Well, I haven't experienced it. No.
As far as you know.
Yeah, as far as I know.
But I mean, it was rough.
Yeah, it was rough. But I mean, if you would have taken the salt away from it, it would have been perfect.
Yeah.
I would have thoroughly enjoyed it.
I mean, did I eat it?
I still ate it.
I'll still ate more than I thought, more than I should have, because that's the thing. Because the flavor was so good, it was clearly just misprepared.
I mean, you just got to get a mouthful of the arugula, and I feel like you're.
And which I honestly want to go back there. We're gonna go back.
Of course, we're gonna go back.
Spoilers. You've been there twice. We're gonna go again.
Of course.
Especially because Becky Factor, she likes it.
Oh,
so
yeah.
If we find a Becky Factor restaurant, we have to go there.
That stays on the list.
Yes, but I feel like I kind of want to go back at like beef carpaccio, even though I don't do much beef, but beef carpaccio and be like, just hold the salt off.
Well, now we know. Can I get the salt on the side, please?
Yeah. They bring you an entire Morton's. That's all the salt that normally goes on there. It's just sat down in a canister next to it.
Oh my gosh. I mean, I wouldn't be mad at that either, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it'd be fine.
Yeah.
We still can't remember what you had, though.
The first time, I think I had a chicken parm. Because I wasn't sure about I wasn't sure about this Italian restaurant. That's kind of my go-to if I don't know yet what to think. Mm-hmm. So I did that, and it was good.
It was fine.
That's the thing. For chicken parm, you're not going to ever get great.
True.
But you're usually not going to get awful. And it was good.
Unless it's the Olive Garden, you know. Do they make a good chicken parm?
I have
at the Olive Garden?
I don't actually know anything. The last time I was at Olive Garden was a solid over a decade ago. I honestly don't know, other than knowing they've got unlimited salad and breadsticks, and you can get soup, salad, and breadsticks for lunch.
And that's no shade to the Olive Garden, because I'm sure they have some great stuff.
Entirely possible, but it's not in my list.
Maybe it should be.
No.
Okay, no, never mind. Forget it.
But the second time we went back, I had got the salmon. And that salmon was cooked because on the menu here, it's still on the menu. It's an 8-ounce skin-on salmon, and they had seared that salmon skin perfectly. Spinach, lemon sauce, and capers. So it had a good amount of salt on there with the capers.
Perfect.
The right amount of lemon on it. It wasn't super saucy. And that is something I will say. None of these dishes are served swimming in their own sauce.
No, these people actually know what they're doing.
They're putting the right amount of sauce on it, which I'm sure if you wanted more sauce, you could say, hey, give me a little bit more sauce. But yeah, it was served right. Oh, and we started as well with the caprese salad, which
correction. Becky started.
That's true.
Salad.
And I had to order myself a one as well because I wanted some.
Yeah. And then I also wanted some.
Yeah, so I think we shared. We shared a caprese salad, and Becky had her own.
But it's like one of her favorites. I mean, so of course
look at this. It's not. We're running towards the end of the tomato.
Look at it. There's some people that can look at it.
If you want to look at it, come over to YouTube.
Get on the YouTubes of it.
But it's the middle of the tomato, so they're not skimping on the tomato slices here. And it's the right amount of arugula that's treated perfectly.
Those tomatoes
with the balsamic, right. And then there's that perfect treatment of the mozzarella there. It's what you want out of a caprese. It's not a deconstructed nothing. It's you order caprese salad. This is what you're thinking in your mind. It's what you get. It's delightful.
Just looking at the photo is making my mouth water. The tomatoes were beautiful. It wasn't overdressed. It was.
It's great.
So good.
It was great. It was great.
So good. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean,
I'll definitely go back.
Yeah, definitely there. And I'm trying to think what else we had for.
What did I have the second go around? I honestly don't remember what it was.
Didn't grab a picture of that. I don't think we did. I'm looking through here.
Which is very strange. I always take pictures of my food, which I guess.
But I mean, looking at their other menu items here, if I'm just going through now, if these are the photos that you can get, if you go to their Google listing on Google Maps, you can scroll through their photos like I'm doing here. every dish that you get looks delightful. Here's, I think, probably mussels and linguine.
Yeah, that's what that looks like to me.
I'm not a huge mussels fan, but this looks super appetizing.
I mean, and the photos that they show it's true. It's your food actual.
Yeah, I mean, there's also some customer
right.
photos as well. That a lot of things that we haven't tried yet. There's some,
I don't know what that is, but it's some sort of soup
of some sort.
And that looks amazing,
delightful as well. There's a shrimp and grits. Is that shrimp and grits on the appetizer? Something like it looks like a shrimp and grits, but it's a grainy shrimp. If you're a big shrimp fan, I'm sure it would be delightful. They cook steak really well as well, so they've got that on there. I mean, nothing that I've seen. There's the chicken parm, so that's actually what I had my first time as well. It's a chicken parm, right? It's all. This is the gnocchi bolognese. Yeah. So now they've added in the ground beef to it as well. It's not in a red sauce, as you can see. It's more in just a regular sauce.
I don't know how I feel about that.
It's gnocchi bolognese. It's not going to be It's not meant to be a highly presented dish. But here's the outside of the building. Like I said, if you're on Water Street, you will go right past it without noticing it. But anyways,
I did.
But the food there that they've done a great job kind of curating a good stuff. And because the menu keeps changing, I feel like they're learning what works and what doesn't. Because it's still a relatively new restaurant. Like this opened late last year, correct? I
believe so. Yeah, late last year.
So it's still a relatively new find and a relatively new, place that you can go and check out, especially if you're more towards the Henderson area.
Yeah, I mean, everybody I've spoken to they're like, yeah, that's the place to go. That's the joint. So
I feel like it's worth the drive. If you're in Summerlin, you want good
Italian. It's totally worth the drive.
Totally worth the drive.
Yeah. I mean, we're going back.
We're definitely going back. So the service.
Oh, I was okay with it. I think the service was fine. It was great. We were there when it was the first time we went. It was fairly new. Like it had just opened a couple months, right?
It was relatively new, yeah.
Yeah.
They were also, I think, short-staffed that day because there was only one server working the whole restaurant that day.
I don't remember that. Was there really?
It was just the one guy that we had working all the tables. So I think he was a little backed up. But the second time we went, there was enough service staff.
Yeah, but even then, the first time, like the food still came out on time. Yeah. It was good. It was good. That's why having such a small restaurant is a big deal over there, because if you are short-staffed, here you go.
It's not going to be that big, that big of a detriment.
It was good.
I enjoyed the service. Yeah. They were always checking in to make sure the food was cooked right, that we actually liked it. They make good recommendations. And did we skip dessert?
No, we had. No.
I skipped dessert. I believe I was
the second time we were there. I also skipped dessert, but I think Becky got something.
Becky, let me see if we got a photo of her dessert.
Maybe she didn't. I know. The first time we all got dessert. Here's
a dessert. This was. I don't know what this dessert was. The desserts change every time too. Like it's not actually on their menu. Just ask them what the desserts are. The desserts.
I'm not a dessert guy anyway, so I mean. I do love tiramisu. Like that's one of my favorite desserts ever. Don't do it.
It wasn't good?
No. It was like a Costco kind of dessert.
They did look like desserts that you could kind of get and just dressed up.
And no disrespect, because if they made that, more power to you. But it didn't feel like it hit the mark.
It wasn't hit the mark. It wasn't the same quality as you were getting from the rest of your meal there, right? So have another cocktail before you go.
Absolutely.
Use that as your dessert. Yeah. Or don't save room. Like enjoy your whole meal, I suppose.
I feel bad because I'm not a dessert guy, so I don't feel like I can really talk about it like that.
Yeah, I'm not normally going to weigh in too much on dessert. By the time the meal is over, I'm not one to put that much more sugar into my system by the time I'm done with my entire meal.
No.
I will normally have dessert if I'm going somewhere.
Sure.
And I'm wanting just, I could use for something sweet.
Yeah, just to kind of finish it off.
Yeah, but not at the end of my giant meal. I've had an appetizer. I've had a glass of wine or a cocktail or two. Yeah. Had my full meal. Now let's add a sugary substance right on top.
Yeah. Becky's the dessert queen.
She will.
So she'll pop in and out of here every once in a while to give her take on a dessert or two.
And she liked her desserts. She liked the desserts. She was happy with them. So, yeah, I mean, from a Becky factor perspective, this place had what she liked, from her ability to kind of find those Italian courses she liked, and the fact that there was a delightful caprese salad.
Yes.
I mean, that's going to win her over every time. Win her over every time.
I mean, I think in general, the whole thing worked. It's a great place to go. The atmosphere is great. The service is great. I don't think anybody's really going to be disappointed.
No, I don't think so either. It definitely, I would say, go check it out. Cute restaurant. Make your reservation though. Like, you're going to have to.
And they are booked out for like a month.
They get booked out. Yeah. So, I mean, they're not going anywhere for sure.
No, I don't think so either.
But yeah, you can, I would highly recommend for sure checking them out when you can. They can fit bigger parties too, because they do have a middle section as well, where I think both times we went, they were pushing those tables together for like parties of 8 to 10 ish.
Yeah, about.
But I mean, you definitely are going to want to book far enough out to make sure you can accommodate that. So it's worth it.
It's definitely a win-win all the way around.
Win-win. Yeah. Great restaurant to check out, especially if you're a huge Italian fan. I mean, I'm not a huge Italian fan, and I like this place.
Not really, but
yeah, but. So people love their Italian.
So do we have a rating system here? Like, how are we going to rate this? Like, what is the overall sitch here? I don't want stars. Don't give me 5 stars. Don't give me that.
I don't want to give a ranking. I feel
how
like
many margaritas? Huh?
No. I think it's more of, do we recommend that people actually check this out?
Yeah.
Do you go out of your way to check this out? Do you drop everything right now to go check it out? And I don't think this is you have to run there, but I would say,
but if you
for your next time out, book it.
If you can make the reservation,
go make the reservation right now. You're going to have to plan a month to 6 weeks out. Like, check with your spouse, check with your friends, be like, hey, I want to plan this trip to this Italian place for 2 months from now. What night works? Book it. Book it for your next outing.
Totally
You're going to enjoy it.
Yeah,
you're going to
totally
enjoy
worth it.
You're going to enjoy it.
All right, fuck the rating system.
Make the recommendation, right? All it takes is for you suddenly, like, you've given something 3 stars and you want to give something else 3 stars, but that 3 stars is slightly better than the other 3 stars.
Yeah.
And then you feel completely fucked.
Okay. All right. Fuck it.
Yeah. So just, go to this one. Go to this one. Try it out. Make it a priority. Make it a priority. Sure. I think you're going to enjoy it. Yeah. For sure. Cool. Well, hey, again, if you're on YouTube, if there's a restaurant you want us to check out on Strip or off Strip, put it in the comments. If you're not and you're listening to the audio podcast, you can hop over to YouTube, make a comment there, or
do it. It's good.
Or you could find
me in a tank top. Come on now, please.
Indeed.
Who doesn't want to see that?
Or you could head to the FoodStrip subreddit. Drop a comment in there. Let us know. Let us know where you'd want to see. Let us know feedback on the episode. Anything you'd want us to consider as we're going out, because we only have a few of these that we actually, as we went through making a list, going, these are the places that we've been to fairly recently that we want to have on the show.
Yeah,
we're going to be hitting the town, checking out new places. So if there's things you specifically are interested in our commentary on, let us know, and we'll be sure to kind of add those perspectives in.
Please,
if we like your idea. If we don't, we're going to completely ignore you.
You're the worst. But he's right.
I only speak the truth.
Yeah, only speak the truth. Got it. Cheers.
That chilled champagne seemed to go down a lot faster.
Duh, it's a second glass. Of course it is. It's easier that way. I mean, yeah, I'm out of champagne, so I guess the episode's over.
Thanks everyone for listening. We'll see you next time.
Bye.